Hi guys, this is Ilya for iChess recording a video tutorial on how to use Asana in our company. So what is Asana? It's a project management tool that most of you probably will be a bit familiar with already. We have been working with it in the past here and there, so some of the stuff that I will be presenting in the next minutes might not be that new to everyone. Still, I think it's going to be quite useful to take a look at the full range of functionalities that the tool offers and also speak a little bit about the kinds of purposes that these will serve. So, generally speaking, we really would like to establish Asana as the central tool, the central hub for team projects, for collaborative efforts, and to move a bit away from email and Google Docs whenever it comes to more complex workflow situations when many team members are involved, when your contribution will be, for example, dependent on someone else's and then the other way around as well. And for these kinds of purposes, Asana is quite well fit, I believe. It offers the possibility to document stuff really nicely, so that if you want to look up something in the future, you will be able to find it quite quickly. It contributes to the transparency of the current workflow, simply in a manner that you will be able to look to see immediately what are currently the projects, the hot projects going on in the company, how exactly will your contribution add up to the big picture, that kind of thing, which I believe is going to be quite helpful as well. And then simply things like being able to prioritize tasks, to set due dates, and yeah, just to create a visible structure of the stuff that you will be working on and we will all be working on, is something that will be quite helpful in the future. Okay, so let's dive in a little bit more in detail. Let's check out what Asana has to offer. And here on the left side, we see an overview over the teams and projects. I'm gonna speak about that later in a bit more detail. But let's first check out what's going on here at the top, what can be useful for you. So if you click here on My Tasks, you will be able to see a summary, well, not a summary, but basically the complete list of the tasks that you are working on that are assigned to you, sometimes with a due date, if there is a due date in this task. And you will be able to see immediately what your projects, the stuff that you're working on, your to-dos, should be in the next days, weeks, whatever. Yeah, just to get a clear idea what your tasks will be, click here and it's going to help. You can choose the kind of view that you prefer here, like for example, if you're looking for an incomplete task or for a completed task, then you will be able to see it here as well. If you complete a task, it's not going to be deleted, it's just going to be moved in the completed tasks list. And you can also choose this view, all tasks, if you want. Whatever works for you or whatever concrete purpose it serves, you can choose that here. So this is the list view of all of your tasks. This is the calendar view, which is basically the same, simply in a different view. So all your tasks and their to-do dates will be organized here in the calendar. And if you have uploaded any files in one of those tasks of yours, then you will be able to find them here. You can't actually upload anything here directly, but this is just a pool that will gather all of the tasks that you uploaded in your personal assignments here. Actually, not only you uploaded, but anyone uploaded in your personal tasks. Okay, so I guess that's kind of all quite self-explanatory, quite intuitive. Nothing out of the ordinary. So let's move on to the next one, which is going to be inbox. Here basically this is just the collection of all the notifications you will get via email per default. You can choose in the settings what notifications you want to get via email and which ones you don't, but per default these are going to be the things that you will be notified about in your email inbox, and you will also find them here, so you don't have to have a lot of tabs open in your emailing program if you want to keep track of all the Asana tasks that you are involved in, but you will be able to check it out here at a very first sight. Quite a nice overview here. Okay, well, wait, let me check. Is there anything else that is important here? Yeah, well, you have also an archive. I suggest you just check it out for yourself here. You can actually check if you want to have notifications here. So you can set them on or off. I believe per default they're on, but you can also set them off, and here you can also choose some settings. Okay, so let's check out the dashboard. This is something you can customize as you think fits, as is most helpful to you. I haven't done that yet. I will, though, just to have a first haven to land whenever you open Asana. If you would like so, then click dashboard, and here there will be an organization of things that are important for your work progress. Okay, if you hit the plus button here, there's a couple more options to choose from. You can check it out yourself. Nothing too fancy, nothing too complicated. This is probably quite an important feature. Here you can search all of Asana by tasks, and also I believe by people. You can just type in something and then you will be able to find it very quickly. If after the videos you will have more questions or anything will be ambiguous to you, feel free to get back in touch with me. I'll be happy to help you if I can. If I can't, then here would be where you can find some answers to your questions. Also, there's more tutorials on how to use Asana on YouTube, but of course here I'm trying to create a more customized one to our purposes and ends. And finally, here you can see your own profile. You can choose some settings here, and here you can see your profile picture. I'd like to encourage everyone to upload a picture, just because I think it's going to be a bit nicer, a bit more personalized to see your colleagues whenever you're collaborating with them on a given project. Okay, so that's that. Kind of all quite intuitive. No sorcery or anything, so you can check it out for yourself as well. So now let's move over to the teams and projects, which are like the basic scaffolding of the whole tool of Asana. Alright, so here we have the teams. These are the teams that I'm a member in, but there's also other teams which I'm not a member of yet. I can try to become a member by hitting join here if I consider this is a team that is important for me. But for now, these are going to be the teams that I'm at this moment working on. And the way Asana is structured is that the teams are the superior hierarchy, and then if you click here this expanding button, you can also click on the name. Then you will see here at projects, you will be able to see the projects for this team. So anyone who's on the team can be in multiple projects, and all of the projects, for example, or in just one project that can be chosen in the settings. So I suggest let's just check out one example team and one example project. Oh yeah, before I do that, well, what's up here? Here you can see some reports. I believe this is the only report that is available in the free version, so you can see here an overview of the tasks you've created. That's quite helpful, I believe. And here, these are my two favorite projects. I marked them as favorite simply to be able to find them quicker. And you can also find the recent projects that you've been working on. Okay, for now, there's not too many projects, but later on, in case the list will grow, this will be a place to find the stuff that you're looking for more quickly. Okay, so let's go back to this thing here. So let's go to the sales team and then hit the English sales project. So these are the projects of the team. You can add more team members here by hitting the plus button or one of those icons. And you can add more projects here, and then you will be asked what kind of project is that supposed to be. Is it going to be public or private? You can choose that option whenever you create a new project. And I would recommend to keep the layout to the list option, which is the default here. Yeah, just to have it consistent and not too confusing in the tool. Every team has a team conversation and a team calendar. These are the two things you can choose here and also here. The conversations, I wouldn't recommend them as a place to start discussions. For that we have Slack. But for example, whenever there's a discussion on how we should proceed, like or some decision that should be made and a couple of team members are involved, we should talk about this in Slack, and then once we reach the decision, we can copy the bottom line, or maybe not copy, but just put the bottom line here to document the decision, and then everyone will be able to find it really quickly. So Slack is for communication, and Asana is going to be for documentation. So don't use these for conversations like, okay, should we do that, or what are you meaning? What do you mean by this word or this? This is more for documenting stuff, like, for example, if you have some correspondence with a third party where decisions will be made or agreements will be made, like for example in the sales here, third-party resellers. It's quite a good idea to post these conversations here to document them so everyone can look up what have been the decisions in that regard. Okay, so yeah, I guess I'll mention later on how this notification thing works. I'll get to speak that on a different occasion. And here's the calendar of the whole team. It's a little bit different than the calendar to a project because it's the complete calendar of all the projects. But you can see here at first sight what to-dos are there, when they are due, and yeah, just have a clear overview in the calendar if you prefer that. But basically it's not a new functionality, it's just a different view. Okay. Yeah, I've added a description here to this project, trying to be funny here, the artist formerly known as, and then linking to a Google Docs document, which is simply the spreadsheet that we've been using before for the sales. So if you have a hard time switching from the way we used to do it before, which was via Google Docs many times, to Asana, you can still look up the document here in case you need some additional information. But hopefully, as time passes, this is going to be not that necessary. Okay, so let's go to one of those projects. No, let's take this one. It's a little bit better filled already. It's got more content in it. This is one of the projects we've been setting up recently. You don't, well, except for Freddy and Will and me, nobody else is able to see these projects yet, which was just a measure not to confuse everyone, but I will open up this project right after I finished recording this video. And yeah, this is one of the more topical projects, the English sales. Of course, this is one of our core businesses here. So let's check that out in detail. let's start at the top again. This is the list view again. We have the conversations regarding only this project, not the whole team, but just this project here. Okay, it's empty now, but there would be something if someone posted it. We have the calendar view here again, and here we have the progress view. So you can see there's 57 tasks that are not completed yet in this project. 2 have been completed. Okay, this might be helpful at some point, not going to be that crucial though, I guess. And here again is going to be a collection of all the files in this project. So you can't really upload any files here to the project. You can just upload files to the tasks, and then they will be all gathered here in this area. So if you want to find, if you want to look up something, one of those files, you will find them here. You don't have to go through all the tasks first. So here again, I uploaded the sales schedule just to ensure a smooth transition from the work habits that we used to have to switching to Asana. So if you want to look up something, you can just click here and you will see the spreadsheet that we have been working with in the past when it came to sales. Okay, so let's take a look at this view. This is probably going to be the predominant view whenever you work with Asana, something like this. So the way we organized it is we have those dividing lines here and there simply to improve lucidity, to have a better overview. So these are all the tasks that are due in June, and maybe not always due in June, but the tasks we want to carry out in June at least. And these are going to be tasks in July. As you can see, they are not as organized yet. You will find that the more we go up, the more granular and detailed the tasks are going to be, which of course makes sense, since the stuff that you will be working with, or we will be working with at a given moment, is going to be more crucial for us than anything that comes in the past, comes in the future, of course. Okay, so we have those dividing lines. There used to be a dividing line here for May as well, but since it's just one project now, it's kind of redundant. So here you see the dates. This is June 1 to 4, which is when the sale should happen. And then accordingly, analogously, this is the next sale, June 6 to 10. So be aware that these, okay, let's take this for example. All of these tasks are subtasks to this big task. This big task can't be checked, but it will simply be removed once all of the subtasks have been done. So when it says here, do the graphics for the Facebook ads, it refers to the graphics for the Smirnoff product about the Grunfeld defense. So it's possible to move around these tasks just by clicking here and then just dragging and dropping. So changing the priority. This will be probably something for Will and me to do. So the way we have it drafted for now is that Will is going to set up the projects, the requirements, the tasks, and I will make sure that it's all in a coherent, useful manner so that everyone can work with it properly. At least for the time now. Later on, hopefully I will be able to take over all of that, yeah, that's how we envision that to work. So as you can see, there's the let me start that differently. You can add tasks here by clicking the button, also just by hitting enter in any field, then a new task will appear. And you can also add sections. See, if you hover with the mouse over here, you can add a section. And these are the sections, like everything that is printed bold. And you can also add a section by just hitting the enter button, then filling in something like this, and then if it ends with the actually, what is this called in English? I don't even know. It's not a semicolon. Is it a colon? No. Well, just these characters, they kind of mark sections. So you can also do it manually, but you can also just click here. Okay, so that's that. And yeah, at some point the tasks will be done and completed, then you can check it. You can hit the check button here. It's a really nice feeling to have a task checked and then it disappears from this list. You can then see it analogously to what I've showed you before in your private tasks, personal task rather. You can change the view here, so if I click here completed tasks, I will be able to look up those tasks that have been checked. So they're not gonna get lost simply because they are checked. They're not deleted, they just move to a different folder. And you can also view all tasks here and sort them if you wanna, well, if it helps your purpose, then you can do it, of course. If you're looking for something and it might, yeah, you might be able to find it quicker by due date or something. Feel free to choose this option for yourself. So yeah, that's that. So I guess let's talk about what happens here on the right side. So every time you click into a task, here on the right side, a new field opens. It's probably not the correct term, but you know what I mean, hopefully. And here too, let's start at the top. You can see who the task is assigned to, whose task that is. You can also see it here. So in this case, it's Tamar's. The due date is 23rd of May. However, this is yeah, just like a trial. Don't be confused by that. For now, we have tried to set up stuff in the background and assign stuff as well to get some structure in, but not necessarily will it always make sense to you guys. So if it doesn't, then feel free to disregard it. But in the next days and weeks especially, but also days hopefully, there will be a more coherent, more clear structure, and everyone will be able to work with the new projects and yeah, with Asana itself. Okay, so we have a couple more options here. So you can mark tasks as favorites, you can tag them if you like, and you can create subtasks and add attachments. And then there's a couple more options here, you can check them out yourself. So adding attachments obviously is quite helpful sometimes when you need an external file to work with. Here it's also possible to add Google Docs. So an interplay is possible if in the beginning we will not want to use Asana as a complete substitute for the tools we used to use in the past, but maybe more as a complement. So we can also add some files here and then have an interplay of both tools. However, I would welcome it if, or we all would welcome it if Asana would become the major tool, the central tool for all these kinds of team projects, so we don't always have to go back to Google Sheets and stuff like that. Okay, and also what is important is going to be this function. You can create subtasks here, like for example, if the task on the left will be for more than one person, like for 2 or 3 persons, then you can create subtasks for these persons. You can assign them and then they can be checked off, and this is going to be quite helpful whenever there's more than one contributor. Also, sometimes there might be more than one contributor at the same task. Then I would recommend simply to clone a task like this. Okay, so you have a task here, you can copy it, you can just I hit the enter button and then you have it one more time, and then you can assign it to one person and then to a second person. That is kind of a workaround here when it comes to more than 2 or more persons being on the same tasks. Okay, so you can mark that complete as well, and you can also move it around, drag and drop it, change the priorities, kind of self-explanatory again. Look at that. There's also a subtasks option. I've never used it actually. Well, feel free to play around with it yourself. Obviously, I can't be too exhaustive here, otherwise the video will become too long. It's quite long already, so I'm gonna try to wrap it up real soon and mention just the most important stuff. Okay, so here are going to be the subtasks, and then whenever they will be finished, they can be checked off, and once the task here can be finished, it can be checked off. The sections cannot be checked off, they will just have to be deleted, but the task will be checked off and not deleted, but just moved to the completed folder. So here in this field you will be able to see some details regarding this task. If something has been changed, you can see the original here just to have a quick idea what the change was. And you can also add a description. This description can be changed at any time, so you can add here whatever you think is helpful here, like here let's say they need to have a nice resolution. No, that's not, they don't have resolutions, but they need to be nice, yeah? Okay, hopefully you're getting my drift. You can add a description here, and you can also write a comment here. This is going to be more sticky. This is going to appear somewhere here, and you are not easily going to be able to change that. So it serves a little bit of a different function. And here you will have notifications sent out to the followers. You can add more followers here. You can remove followers by hitting the X button here, and then once you hit comment, it will go to the followers. So this is how it works. Those followers, they get the notifications, and you can choose regularly who you would like to notify. Yeah, just learning by doing, I guess, is also a good idea here. So here it turns out I'm following, but I can change that by unsubscribing to the notifications. So if at some point in the future you will feel like, okay, I'm getting way too many notifications, although I don't really need them because I see my tasks anyway, then feel free to turn them off, and then you will see them in your inbox, well, most of the times at least. Okay, so that's that. What else could be essential here? I believe I covered the most important stuff. So here's where we're going to put new tasks in sales, well, with different projects here like Spanish sales, or maybe in webinars. That's not as sophisticatedly elaborated yet, I believe. But here you could also see a similar structure. So there's some tasks, we haven't assigned them yet, but we will at some point, and then there's going to be subtasks. And then you will be able to see the progress of a given project, and yeah, once you finished your things, you will be able to mark it as checked, and so it will proceed until the project will be done, and then we'll be moving up the list, and the old projects will disappear. So hopefully this will contribute to our productivity, to our effectiveness when tackling group projects. Well, we'll have to groove in as time goes by, but I'm quite positive that this should be quite natural. Well, maybe one more note on the nature of these tasks. We're going to try to make them not too granular, not too fine-grained, so the documentation of the tasks might at some point become more work than actually doing the task itself. That is of course not something that we're striving for, but we will create additional tasks whenever work steps can be separated, and it will contribute to the general overview, the general understanding of the of the projects. Yeah, I think that is it. Once more, if you have any questions, feel free to get back to me at any point. I would recommend not to have all the projects and teams expanded, just to keep an overview here. So if you're not working on something, I would recommend de-expanding it and only expanding it when you're working with it. Try to be consistent in the way you're using this tool. And yeah, I'm looking forward to using this tool, and really think that this should improve our workflow and redeem some of the frustrations that we used to have in the past. Okay, so have fun with Asana, and if you have any questions, feel free to get back in touch. Cheers, guys.